Hi there, this is Ronnie coming at you with a video. Um, I am going to be running a one-shot for Free RPG Day on June the 20th. No surprises, it's Castle Falkenstein that I'm going to run. I'm going to do a kind of pastiche of dungeon crawls. Now, um, my problem is trying to cut it down to something like 4, maybe 5 hours. I've never written a game that short, my Nelly Puff. I did a one-shot using Falkenstein again 2 years ago, and I wrote what I thought was a very, very, very simple, straightforward, not going to take any time at all game, and we get nowhere near finished. Um, so I'm kind of I'm sort of frustrated with myself because I want more time. And I don't know how much time I'm going to get for this game. I have a feeling it will be the sort of standard 4 hours. I might be able to eke it to 6, maybe make my dungeon crawl work. It's one of the reasons why I'm doing a dungeon crawl, so it's very, very specific and hemmed in. Um, and I'm not going to have much in the way of a setup before they hit the dungeon. Mostly because if I allow the setup to play out fully, they may never get near the dungeon. Which there's part of me that's kind of intrigued to see whether that happens. But I want a bit of structure in the scenario uh, just to keep the focus on it. I've been given a few ideas for rooms for my dungeon. One particularly I got from Jenny, the Rogue DM, which I'm tweaking slightly to make it look a bit more steampunk. But the actual the essence of this room that she gave me an idea on is perfect. And I like that idea, and I have a few more up my sleeve. Uh, sort of, sort of getting some old ones that I've used in previous scenarios and sort of doing a bit of a mega mix, um, which I kind of like. I sort of like the feel of. So yeah, it's all meant to be sort of tongue in cheek. So there's going to be a few sort of silly kind of sort of points. I kind of like the idea of them going into a room which has a sign on it saying intricate automata of the macabre by the Howson brothers, Raymond and Harrison. Um, and there's going to be there's going to be like sort of intricate sort of clockwork skeletons that they'll end up battling with. Obviously, the names are a direct sort of nod to the great Ray Harryhausen. Um, and sort of, the infamous sort of Jason and the Argonauts scene with the fighting the skeleton warriors. Um, so that sort of appeals to me. Little nods like that. I'm not sure whether the players will find them funny, but I'm going to giggle, you know. So that'll work. So I guess I'm looking for some advice. After 30 years of gaming, I'm looking for advice because I've never written a game this short. I have done games that have lasted just a single night, and not because of party kills. But those games have lasted sort of 8, 9 hours. We just kind of played from about 4 o'clock in the afternoon and went right through to like 2, 3 in the morning sometimes. So that that's been my kind of one-shot experience. So I'm having to cut down a heck of a lot. I think part of it will come from me sort of speeding things up rather than just sort of sitting back and letting things happen. I'm going to actually have to be a bit more proactive as a GM, which I'm never comfortable with, but sometimes it's necessary. So yeah, some advice please on running, not so much running the game so much as getting the scenario down to a reasonable length. I played a one-shot on Google Hangouts on Saturday night, which I thoroughly enjoyed, ran by Jenny the Rogue DM for this game Corporation, which had a kind of sort of gritty, sort of cyberpunk feel to it. It was very enjoyable. It's a great game to play. But it was one of those ones where it was essentially played over 4 hours, and I could easily have seen that scenario run. It let the air out the tires a bit. That scenario could have run for 2 to 3 sessions quite easily. And you know, so I could almost see, as I was playing it, I was seeing all the possible permutations of where the characters could go next. So it must be frustrating for GMs when they're sort of hemmed into such a small amount of time. So I'd love to hear some opinions, some tips and hints, please. Yeah, please get back to me on it.